video.
Fair enough. I'm too lazy to copy paste talks and you do it.
Winter Rhodes, I guess. Let's go Winter Rhodes first. What do you guys think?
Okay then. Here you go.
Do we even know if this nigga's recording?
Okay.
Wait,
I mean,
is he
I guess
recording
on his
now?
signal.
Hey. Start.
Okay, start now. Alright. Alright, so, Winter Rhodes, what do you guys think?
Hi, welcome to the DWF News Podcast.
Okay.
How's everyone gonna just go?
What's up, what's up, what's up? Okay, that was bad. Okay.
I don't think it's weird.
Whatever, it's bad, cool. We're ranking dudes that are wrestling now and not all these. Cool. Alright, let's start.
What?
Alright,
This is a current ranking of fighters from tiers elite, great, mid, below average, and worst tier. We've got Mike MLM, we've got our boy Lord Dallas, you have me, Scotty Crippen, you have Elite TTB, and we have Tyson Brown. We're going to sit here, we're going to analyze each fighter, and then we're going to place them in a tier. Very simple, very straightforward. We're going to start with Winter Rhodes.
Alright.
Who goes first? Who wants to talk first, huh?
Who goes first?
Well,
All right, I guess I'll start, man. I think Winter Rhodes is pretty good entertainment-wise if you can give him the chance, if he has the right material. In skill, there's a lot to be desired. I don't think he's that great. He hasn't done anything that great. He had a great performance against Corey. He has to follow that up sometime soon. For now, I hesitantly, I'll put him in mid-tier. I mean, like, if his career shows anything, that'd be below average tier, but I'll give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly
challenge me on that.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good, but I feel like he's more of a storyline guy, you know? He's not really skilled. He's more on the story. He's better at that. I don't know. The match with Corey was more storyline.
Corey really like makes him who he is, because like the match that he had with Corey, like that basically really like put him up.
His career moment. That was his career moment. That whole match was his career moment right there.
No, the point is that match was also a story essentially. That match was a story essentially. So I couldn't really see he was. Corey was clearly not trying. No offense, but I think the story was still.
Interesting.
I would have to wholeheartedly agree with that. It was quite obvious that Corey didn't even attempt to fight in that match. I'd have to say that Winter would go in the mid because he's not garbage. He's not bad. He's not bad. He's a good fighter. But the peak of his career so far was that storyline with Corey, and Corey didn't even attempt to fight back. So that was simply just the storyline. I would have to say he's in the mid, personally.
I guess we're going to move into the number one gatekeeper named Water Hardy.
Oh, let me do this.
The PCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Water, in my opinion, he's mid-tier. He's mid-tier. He's a good fighter. Do not get me wrong. He's a good fighter, but he's not, like, great or elite. He hasn't really done anything to prove anyone in this whole federation that, hey, I'm the best here. I'm the dog, like he used to be when he was a world champion before, like, proved anything at all. Yes.
He also won the Rumble, he didn't do anything with that.
Tyson's gonna open up every point with he's good, but
yeah, exactly.
Water Hardy is Primavera gatekeeper material. He's not a bad gatekeeper. I mean, he's like one of the few people that can put up at least some consistent performance each night out. The only thing is like he never beats his own mediocrity. He doesn't do anything more than his wild spin, and he knows his wild spin's got power. He can knock someone down within seconds with a wild spin. But when when you get into those like championship fights, when you get into those people who are a little more dynamic with the way they move, the way they set up, Water Hardy doesn't always have answers apart from just walk in.
Yeah. You know, like, I feel like Water, he's really good, but he doesn't have, you know, that what people in basketball call the killer instinct, you know, the will to win.
Yes.
He kind of chokes sometimes, yeah.
And like he's had his fumbles, and like with that, and with a lot of those guys in the last card we just had, there's always some weird ass excuse pinned on the end of it, like my plan is to go with this, and like each time it doesn't fall through, and that's why I don't feel confident out of the people who choked the last card. Because if Water Hardy is any like soundboard off of what we've seen before, people who have like excuses at the end of the day don't really move forward or progress. They don't have like a way of coming to terms with themselves, and that's what we've seen with Water. He hasn't adapted, he hasn't evolved, so he's always stuck in the middle of the pack.
As much as I love Water, it's sad to say that when it comes to actual shows and pay-per-views, he doesn't really know how to handle himself. When it comes to fighting in the gym where there are zero consequences and no one really cares too much, it seems that he's one of the best people to step into a gym and that's able to fight. But when it comes to a show, it seems he chokes.
Exactly.
Yes, he chokes under the spotlight.
I agree.
So
yeah, he's like, he doesn't have the killer instinct. Yeah, exactly.
I would have to put him in the mid tier.
Doesn't have that mentality.
I do personally believe, I believe that eventually he could get up to the elite tier if he would learn how to not choke under the spotlight and to trust
I don't
the
know
capability. No. I didn't say soon. I said he could adjust and build himself up too. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, he needs to get that instinct. He has the skill. He doesn't have the instinct though. That's what I think.
Especially for someone that's had like as much opportunity as he's had. Like he won a Rumble, like a one-on-one title match. So like he had like a whole month to get prepared for that, and he still lost when the other dude like barely even prepared for it. Like you gotta
Not
be
only
ready
that,
in
but
those sorts of
he
situations.
choked that fight. I'll be back. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just as simple as it is. He's a great fighter. He's an amazing fighter, but when it comes to when it actually matters, he doesn't know how to handle himself, and he doesn't know how to handle the pressure of the situation. For now, I would put him in the mid-tier because he is accomplished. He has handled himself, and he knows how to handle himself, but at the same time, he doesn't know how to get it done.
So far, the mid-tier is Winner and Water. Okay.
Yeah. Now we go on to the man who got suspended, Corey.
I would
the man that got suspended.
Where are we?
I'm
Corey
putting
Kasada.
CoreyKasada.
I think it's the same as Winner, but slightly more skilled, to be honest.
I'm putting Corey in great.
I'd have to move him up. Like
I hate to
though,
do
like,
this to the man, but I'm gonna put him at below average.
When he's actually fought.
I don't care what nobody says. When that man actually attempts to fight, because, I mean, look at it this way. He's been doing this for quite some time. He's probably at the age and the point where he doesn't care really too much anymore. He just wants to do it for the enjoyment of it. He knows how to handle himself in a promo. He knows how to handle himself in a fight. He's a very accomplished wrestler, and I believe that if he actually started to care about winning matches again, I think he could do some great fucking things, and that's why I believe that he's in the great tier.
Okay, but everything here is on a hypothetical scale. When was the last time we saw CoreyKasada win a match? This was months back. This was DWF Mania. Yes, he does.
Hold up.
That's the final point here. If he did, then I would say he was great tier. But because he doesn't, and he has lost consistently, and yes, storylines are great, but when we look at the outcomes of these matches, the outcomes tell the story, and that writes the history books. And history says CoreyKasada is below average.
Corey did not attempt in the match with Winner Rhodes, and he still almost won.
It was a scripted match.
No, the thing is,
and he still lost.
Exactly.
And even regardless, he's had an inactivity lull for quite a while. We haven't seen him fight until, I think, the Tag Team Championships, and he vacated that title in favor of...
No. See, here's the thing, though. We're not talking about in total of everything. We're talking about where he should be and where his skill level brings him. When it comes to him
where he is right now, currently.
When it comes to him being amazing in his promos, and when he does fight, he is great.
Yeah,
and
the
fact that he's willing to dive so these wrestlers could win and have a great, upbringing, the fact that he's willing to do that, that puts him in great alone by itself. But not
It's
to mention the fact that he
respectable,
can
but
still
we're
fight.
looking at a point of reference from how good these guys are in the outcomes. That's just simple. You win, you look good. Corey has not been winning, so I can't give
Because
him any more
Corey's been
pats on
letting
the
them
back than
win.
we've already. Yes, he's
No,
been
the
letting
point
him.
is,
That's the
even if
issue here. That's the
even
issue here.
if
If he's
Corey
gonna lose,
is
he's gonna
letting them
lose.
win. Exactly.
At the end of the day, the story is always winners and losers, and Corey has been finding himself on the loser side. If we did this 4 months ago, Corey would have been in great tier, and that's because he has been following those storylines that he did with success in the ring, regardless. And that hasn't been the case recently.
It's crazy how you're just taking it off of his win-loss record recently instead of what's actually going
That's
on.
what we're basing this off of. The
That's what
win-loss.
you're basing it off of.
Who wins?
That's what you're basing it off of.
Yes,
I
that's
base
what
it off
everyone
of
here is basing off
everything.
of.
I base it off everything.
Yes, storyline is
Yeah, you
one
should
thing,
base
but
it
at
off
the end of
everything,
the
but
day, if
still.
you fight cans and you lose to cans, I mean, I can't say you're good. And I know, like, I respect Corey, and I know what he's done, I know what he's capable of, but the matter of fact is he has been losing. He hasn't looked that stellar in the ring, and the one time he did look stellar, it was in a scripted match. So, like, we can't talk on a front hypothetically here. This is coulds, this is what is. We're not talking about coulds and what is, we're talking about what is. That's my point.
Hey, you know, like I said at the very beginning, I don't care what nobody says. You know, you can have your own viewpoint on it, but the fact that I know that he's diving these matches so other people can win is enough for me to put him in great. And the fact that I also know that if he did care about winning, that he would, it's, you know, that's enough for me.
Yes, I disagree. I respect your opinion, though. I think we can move on from here.
Yeah, all right. Next person up is the one right next to me, TTB.
TT.
Listen, like, it's kind of like in my name, so I think you gotta know where you gotta put me, man, you know?
Oh yeah,
But-
worst tier.
TTB, to the
Yeah,
bottom.
TTV.
No, wait, can we get tier?
I'm not gonna give my opinion on this just because it's me, so I'll let you guys do the talking. You know?
All right,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
talk from. You have to look at this one under the scrutiny of an entire microscope, because when it comes to you, TTB, you have 2 months for this to change. So what I say now may not be the case a week from now. With that being said, I have to base everything off of what has happened in your United States title reign. And so I think that's what, 2 to 3 months as USC, maybe 4. You tell me.
God, it was like 7 months.
7
It
months.
was 8
Who have
months,
you
bro.
fought within this
132
time?
days.
Okay, well, I fought Bryan twice.
Okay.
Okay.
I won to begin with. I won it in the trip that came down to the last fall. It was 2 to 2 to 2.
Yeah.
I think it was with. I think it was like Alpha, and
Yeah. Now, like, yes, I remember the Bryan fights. That was probably your best opponent to date.
Yeah.
After that, I can't remember many of your other opponents, though. And this isn't any fault of your own, granted. And you have done very consistent. I don't think you're as nearly mediocre enough where I'm going to say you're on the same scale as someone like Winner or Water. But you're not, like, so stellar where, like, the guys you fought haven't, like, surprised me in the way you've beaten them. Again, this can change within 2 weeks, within the next 2 months. But where it stands now, I'm not going to put you any further than great here.
Okay. I'm gonna put him in great tier.
I don't know if anyone's going to challenge me on that front.
Well,
I don't know. I kind of agree.
I think it's a fair assessment.
I haven't really
Yeah, I kinda
been
agree.
back as long to really have an opinion too much on TTB, but what I can say about him is that so far since I've been back, he hasn't been stellar enough for me to put him in great tier.
I mean, he's been very consistent. Yes, 7 months is an impressive feat on its own, but...
Now, hold on. Again, I say I haven't been back long enough to actually put an opinion on TTB, but since I've been back, I would put him in the mid tier. Like, what's up with being number 40 in the Rumble, and then losing. Like, come on. You got number
okay,
40.
but the Rumble's cheese.
Rumble
that
is
Rumble
let's
was
not
BS.
let's
Come
not
on,
use
bro.
the Rumble as a
BS.
basis for someone's skill.
Number
let's
40
not
for what, though?
That's not fair. No,
Number 40
the
for
point
what,
is,
though? It wasn't even
Hello,
really
Alex
close.
Tatum's.
Oh, Alex.
Alex.
you're late.
We're here.
I mean, because I can crush like 50 guys with cleans regardless, but when it comes to Royal Rumble, I'm like, my physics are just going to throw me out. That's just the way it is. That's
No,
why
the
I don't
point
think it's
is
fair to
that
look at
Royal
some
Rumble was BS. That's my
yes.
point.
Not only that, the recent Rumble had a lot of controversy, so take that one with a grain of salt.
I wasn't there for it, but I heard there was like a ton of teamers in that Rumble. Like a ton of people just
Yeah, there
teamed.
were.
Well, I mean, teaming comes with the Rumble. That's more
considering
of
the fact
an
that I
issue
got
on
in-
Mob's end, because Mob was like, there isn't going to be
He
any
changed
teaming.
the rules mid-match,
It's the Rumble. It's the Rumble. People are going to team. You shouldn't lie to them, but that's another issue. I'm not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about TTB in this situation, and I say I'll give TTB great for being consistent, but not elite because he's not fought anyone that has been eye-opening.
I'll give TTB honestly great because I've been here a little bit now and I've been seeing him fight more, and he's good. He's really good, but it just sucks that he lost to whoever. Zane. That
He
just
lost
sucks.
to Zane.
Yeah, I mean, Zane has his own credits for there.
Yeah, because I mean, isn't he like 14-time U.S. champion now?
He is.
Yeah,
Come on.
We'll get to him later, though. My opinions on him are kind of push or shove.
Let's go, Mike.
Gonna have to move on to Mike.
Okay, I can't say much here. You guys go.
All right. Cool. You can go
Fair
first.
assessments and all. Again, we can't judge someone based off of their past feats when we're talking about current. No, you haven't done anything stellar as of recently. You had a chance to get into the world title picture. You've had my training. You managed to lose to Nico. I haven't had any personal first-hand experience with Nico, but from my assessment of him off of Ken, I think that was a fight you probably should have had in your resume. And I mean, you've been it's weird to phrase this one. I think you've been solid and concrete, at least from a perspective of like when you go into the ring, you've had a consistent win-loss rate to show. Not many people have beaten you in the exhibition matches, but you haven't been in any status where like you're at the pay-per-view and you're winning titles and you're fighting these crazy guys and you're impressing me with these stellar performances. I think the most you did was you had about 30 seconds in that Survivor Series match where you dropped about 3 people. But that's about the extent of it. If I'm to judge you from a current standpoint, I'm going to put you in the mid-tier.
I would, Mike, with you. It's all like I haven't seen you fight in a bit, but at Survivor Series, it's amazing seeing you fight because you still had it. You still had that charisma and that fight in you, like I saw you previously, and I loved it. I loved it. Especially you trained me now to a good fighter now. So in my opinion, I got to put you probably mid-tier, in my opinion, because I really fought that much competition. And like he said, you did slip from that World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. I'm like... No. There you go. Oh, I thought...
No, wait. The thing is, remember, I had a second chance, but Mob removed it. I don't know why he removed it.
I mean, yeah, but you should have had that first chance to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Look, I know I'm late, but can I ask why Corey's below average tier?
Because he's been doing garbage recently.
Oh.
I mean, we're talking from a career standpoint. Yes, I'm going to put that man at near elite tier or maybe great tier. I don't know. I'm not going to think about that, but we're just going to just as a quick recap. When was the last time you saw CoreyKasada win like a match that mattered?
I mean, his winner in his match wasn't scripted, then.
I mean, fucking Dallas thought otherwise, but that's because he died for people. I'm just looking from a win-loss outcome, their skill in the ring. So, I mean, when it comes down to that, I don't think so well on Corey's front. I love the guy, but anyways, I think we can move on. We got Rahim Dinero. This is Do I want to like put him at below average tier, mainly because I just don't think he won the Immortal Championship. But the fact that he did, I mean, he didn't deserve it. But the fact that he did, I think that warrants enough success to put him like, since he came up and he showed up, I'll put him at mid tier. The only thing about this guy is I haven't seen him enough. He hasn't done enough. This is just kind of your pick 'em. This is just, pick 'em, whichever way it goes. You can say worst tier, and I'll probably follow you on that, and you can say great tier, and I don't see any reason for me to debate you on that front. It's just so like even with this guy. He hasn't been around for nearly long enough for me to develop an opinion on him. And so I can't. I only have to give this guy a chance and just put him at mid tier until he actually does something.
I'm not even going to give him the chance to put mid-tier. Simple as this. He hasn't been stellar. He hasn't starstruck me with beating anybody of any real...
Absolutely
agree.
And it's just like...
All I gotta say is...
He did not win the title. He did not win the title. The only reason why he holds it, it was more of handed over. He didn't win that. Jordan choked. It's that simple. Everyone chokes, and Jordan just so happened to choke. He was handed the title. He did not win it. He did not earn it. Now
and
that doesn't
I would say maybe on like a blue moon, maybe Rahim overperformed. We don't know if this guy is secretly that great, if he can just show up when he wants. But we've also had those exhibition matches where it's like, yes, Rahim Dinero has looked very suspect at times. And if we're going on a basis, it's so like pick or choose. I can't really I can't just say he's terrible outright. He has the championship. Yes, Jordan choked, and that's another thing to think about. But he does have the championship, so it merits something. It doesn't merit something like super. And I'm not going to say he's great tier, because on the flip side, he's looked suspect, and then you have that thing where Jordan choked. So, like, we have to see with this guy.
The title is enough merit for me to not put him at worst. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't be great. That doesn't mean he can't be elite, but he's not mid right now. Again, everything so far has been handed to him. He's gotten extremely lucky. It's just that simple.
Yeah, unless he starts defending at least once a week, he hasn't really proven to be a champion.
I mean, we'll see, because like, he has like a 50-50 ratio, and he's lost to some not-so-stellar guys. But he's going to have Jordan on his record regardless, so it's just like, we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to do that well headed forward, but that depends on entirely who gets booked to fight him, what he does for storyline, what he does to solidify. He could be another, what was that other guy's name who had that Money in the Bank case, did nothing with it?
What?
He was with FA. Yeah, Matt FA. Now, we could either have a Matt FA, or we could have maybe, another J dude. At best, a J dude. At worst, a Matt FA, and that's just...
I'll just keep him at mid-tier. He hasn't really done anything to like great or elite tier.
I'm just being safe with my pick. Like, this isn't like a very well-founded pick. This guy is so like new to this scene. That's the issue here. He's just really new to this scene. But, we can sit here. We can dick around about that. I don't think there's much else to explore, though. I think we can move on to Zane.
Huh.
Yeah, Zane. How do I feel about
putting Zane at great?
I don't know about great. I don't know about great. Even from an all-time standpoint, the guy has lost as many title fights as he has won.
Yeah, that's what I would like.
That counts for something. But we're not talking about all time. We're going to talk about current. Yes, let's look at current. I think, currently speaking, the last time he showed up for something, it was the Survivor Series match. And it's kind of the same thing with Mike. He had a brief, 10 seconds, and then it was over.
We're talking about right now. I'm keeping Zane at mid.
Yeah, and after that, he went on to fight for the United States Championship in an open challenge, and that was a match that TTB lost. And now we can go into the excuses and all of that. Regardless, TTB lost and Zane beat TTB. Now, when it comes to Zane's reign, he fought a rookie that us at SWA are like kind of sad that this happened, but they threw Zombie Super Troll, and I think that was a good matchup. I thought it would be closer than what it was, but it was another thing where the guy we put to fight them completely underperformed and choked. And do I want to give credits to Zane here for being consistent? I mean, he fought somebody who choked, and we don't get like a realistic perspective on that situation when the guy you fight chokes. And the greatest thing you've done before that was 10 Seconds of Fame, knocking out 2 guys at Survivor Series. I can't say he isn't bad. I can't say he's bad. I can't say he's great. I'll put him in mid-tier. Yeah, he's just fine as he is. I mean, he's not great. He's not bad. He's Zane. Zane does Zane. I mean, I think he's okay. Nothing that's got me going. Shit.
I got no opinion on Zane.
Yeah.
We're talking about Zane still, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. But I haven't said anything yet, but Zane. I mean, he's like a. I don't know what to talk about Zane, because I mean, Zane's good. Don't get me wrong, he's beyond good, but I gotta put him at mid tier, in my opinion. Mid tier.
Yeah, I just find it hard to go any higher than that.
Probably moving on again.
Okay, let's move on here. We're gonna have to talk about UnstableKen.
Oh, this is the one I've been waiting for all day.
Well, if we're talking about right now, considering that he's on like
Yes, we're talking about right now.
with his world title, then it's elite. There's no debate.
Alright, but he has fought
Even-
total
okay,
cans. Let's go down the list of people that Unstable. Whose mic's got all that?
He fought
next in
Bryan and
family,
Nico,
bro?
and that's it.
No, okay, so he's fought Gio Wilder. He's had Bryan. He's had the Bryan rematch. Now, the best I think we've seen
Was the
was
original
on the Bryan rematch.
No, I think it was the original one. That one was 4-3.
Yeah, that one. No, the first time around it was a lot closer. But the fact that Bryan went through an
Didn't
entire
Bryan
training
choke that
camp-
one?
Yeah, he had
choked
like
that
a
one. He
3-0
choked
lead, and he lost
Yeah.
4.
He choked both.
Right.
Choke that one.
Bryan went under an entire training camp, and then Ken smashed him. So that was the best opponent that Ken has fought so far. Now we go down the list.
Yeah, I
it just
kinda
gets,
blew
like,
my chance
increasingly
there, but-
depressive. There was who was that other guy he fought?
Ashir Abadan.
Nico.
Yeah, no,
I
he's
think
fought
it's
Nico.
Nico,
No,
yeah.
but before Nico, like we've only got like 4
was
opponents.
Ashir.
Yes, Ashir.
It was Ashir.
Ashir, who's probably the
Yeah,
worst
I
guy
beat
I had ever
Ashir
seen
a
get
day
a world
before he
heavyweight
fought
championship
Ken.
on UFC. And then
I
there's
beat
2 other
Ashir
bumps in there somewhere in the mix. So he's fought total cans. Now, if you actually throw a league like competition at him, he doesn't do that well. But DWF, at least if we're looking at it from a DWF standpoint, he has wiped the entire division. He's probably the #1 guy right now. And while I personally don't think he's anything stellar, he's anything impressive, he at least has an 8-month streak, and at least he's coming near to a record. And because there's no one to challenge him right now, I'm going to give him elite tier. And he's probably the only person on this list that I'll be willing to extend elite tier to. Because at the very least, he has been the most consistent fighter. He has slaughtered all of his competition, and he has proved that he is better than all of his competition, and there hasn't been a serious challenge for him. And it isn't a case of like he's inconsistent or like, you know, there's this one guy who could probably beat him. No, every time out, we know Ken is going to win, and that's at least some merit to Ken.
Yeah. I agree on that beyond, because thing is, like, in my opinion, he hasn't like fought like the best of the best he's not fought just contenders, but he hasn't fought the best of the best we provide to him.
When we look at the current roster, who is best of the best?
Exactly. I know that's
It's
the thing.
hard to
Jordan
decipher.
Stone.
I'm joking.
It is very hard to decipher. There's like 3 guys at any time who I think are above the others. And like at that point it's just Like, everyone is just below them. That's the way.
You can't beat Scotty Crippen for a world championship. Just saying.
My USB port is still fried. That's why I'm not on this list, good sir.
Damn.
That's enough.
No, it's
Yeah,
like somebody could talk out of nowhere. Like all this stuff, in my opinion, I really would love to see Ken lose that title. Like with someone that comes out of nowhere, like, no one knows about.
I think it's good to move on to Jordan Stone. I don't have much more opinions on Ken here.
Like, what I'm gonna say is, Ken is a great heel. He's got people hating on him. That's all I gotta say. He's a great heel. He's a great fighter.
Jordan Stone, though.
Where do I
now? Like, I think I'd put him in great, just because he had an immortal title reign that lasted a few months, but as soon as he lost it, he literally just won another title.
If it weren't for the fact that if he didn't lose to Rahim, I would put him at elite. The only reason I am not putting Jordan Stone at elite tier was because he choked to Rahim Dinero. That's it. That is literally my only reason.
So he's great.
If he had won that fight, that's an elite tier, but I'm not talking about what ifs. I'm not talking about if that happened. I'm talking about now, and he did lose to Rahim Dinero. That's a fight he shouldn't have lost.
I'm still putting Jordan at elite tier. Because once again, as I said, everybody chokes. I don't care if you're elite. I don't care if you're the greatest pro wrestler to walk this freaking planet. Everyone chokes. And it's okay to choke every now and then, as long as you continue to back it up. We can't take one choke to Rahim and say, oh, he's not elite. No, it doesn't work that way. It's like saying, oh, Tom Brady didn't win every Super Bowl he ever played. He's not elite. No, you can't do that.
I can definitely do that, though.
But you'd be wrong to do so.
I don't think I'm wrong here. I think it's a very well-founded point. That's a fight he should have won. I don't care.
That is a fight.
It's a fight thing I showed. Michael Jordan never did what LeBron James did, which was lose to the Mavs.
Wait, no. Scotty, you're forgetting some. No.
If you're going to mention the Detroit the Pistons, if you're going to mention
no, I'm not going to mention the Detroit one. No, I'm going to mention the one with the Magic. I'm going to mention the one with the Magic. The one where he lost.
Oh, wait.
That one he was with the Wizards? Nah.
No, that was when he was still prime Jordan, 1995. That's what I will mention. Sure, he was rusty. I mean, I wouldn't call him rusty. He scored 50 points.
Okay, then no, that was not on Michael Jordan. That was against
everyone choked, bro.
He didn't choke that though.
Everyone choked.
He performed. He put out, and that's my same thing. Like if you were going to mention the Detroit Pistons
but he still
playoffs, he did not flop. Jordan flopped. When we're talking about people who choke, LeBron James, scoring like 4 points against the Mavericks, that's a choke. That's not something that LeBron James should have done.
He scored 8.
And Jordan, if he made that 3 to 4, I would say he was elite if it was like 3 to 4. But he choked. Jordan Stone choked, and that is going to affect my opinion on it. Yes, everybody can choke. No, that isn't going to change my opinion here. Because if you choke, that means you didn't put out. That is the simple rule here.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
You don't put out.
Not going to argue with that.
That's going to go against you. There's no way that can't go against you. It isn't just like, I made that happen, something I couldn't control. He could have controlled that from the starting gate. I was in whispers telling him how he could have done it out the starting gate. And he still did it. So, like, there's nothing, it's not like it wasn't out of his control. It was completely in his control. He let it happen. That's just a simple part of it. You have to take responsibility. You have to understand that if you do something like this, that's going to affect people's opinions of you.
Opinions.
Yes. I mean this is an opinion, but I think it's a well-founded opinion.
Yes, and my...
Jordan, great. It's like exactly going with Scotty. Like, if he won that match, 100% elite. But he choked that match. I got to put great. That's all I can say. He's great.
And again, like my opinion now may not be the case 2 weeks from now. That's the thing about this. Everything's so fluctuating.
Get out here and clean something.
But as it stands now, I'm not going to put him at a lead.
So, how's everybody doing?
Hey, Alex.
How you doing, Alex?
What's up, Alex? You're late.
A little late,
Well,
dude.
actually, I was here the whole time listening to you guys. I was just driving. And I'm still
All
driving.
right, where are we talking? Who's next?
Wide.
We skip this guy. This guy's going in the bottom. We skip.
No, I ain't no skip. Put him at work right now.
Everybody's talking over
I'm not
each other.
even gonna correct the spelling. I don't care.
Skip
I'm not
this.
gonna correct the spelling. I don't
No
care.
reason that you hype yourself
Absolute
up just
clown.
skipping
Got
that one.
counted
Like,
out.
Skip this
Like,
one.
Black switches. Black switches.
Skip this one, bro. Fuck Wyatt Spicy Fire Breath. We don't have to discuss this one.
Yes.
Okay, who's next?
Next is
Peter.
Indeed.
Deter.
Detard.
I want to put him at a
Whoa.
below average because he's
Below average.
Yeah, below average. Because like
Yeah.
he's had his
Yeah,
matches,
same.
but like
He's not
hasn't
even
done anything special. Like that's the issue here. Like he's not that bad. But at the same time, he's not good and he hasn't done anything.
He's a good talker, but that's about the extent of it. Looking at like from his in-rings, like actual performance, it's like less than stellar. It's mediocre. There's nothing innovative. Every time I see him fight, I almost want to fall asleep. He talks to the refs a lot. He debates a lot of decisions. He wouldn't have to debate with the ref all the time if he was just simply better than...
He thinks it's a necessity to have a promo after every single match.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Me
honestly,
personally,
like, there's room to improve. That's all there is. Where he stands right now, not stellar. I wouldn't consider him a contender for many championships, except maybe Europor.
I mean, he choked on voltage. Because Batman screwed him over. That was funny.
He was fighting in the Immortal title #1 contender, and he was slapping everyone up, and then Batman killed him. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was an L.
If you take a hard
all I
fall
gotta
to
say.
Batman,
No, it wasn't like Batman. Like he was running away from Y2G, and Batman hit him in his back.
Wait, who
That's
won
why.
that, though?
Yeah, so that was so funny, bro. He nearly quit,
I
actually.
knew Dino was gonna get pissed.
that's just...
Dieter's a good, in my opinion, Dieter's good at mic, but when it comes to like in-ring performance.
No, he can make a bunch of promises. The only issue is he's gonna fall empty on a
Exactly.
lot of them.
He's the guy in the office who says like, "Oh, I can do this."
This man, like a month ago, was telling me that he would be like U.S. champion. Where is he now? Not the U.S. champion, that's for sure. I haven't seen
Where
him
he
done
is now, he
anything.
got beat up by Batman. That's exactly what happened. He got beat up by Batman.
Exxode is more of the same. I'm never gonna forgive him for flopping to Axolarities the way he did. So that's below average.
Yeah, see. That was sad,
He's
bro.
streaky too. He's like very streaky.
yesterday.
Like he's gonna look good.
How he made like trying to make his excuses in that, like, come on.
No, wait. Excuse me. He got greened by Axel twice. He got greened twice. Even if he was throwing the match, that's still something else.
Yeah, that was totally fake. Like, no, you could have defended.
Just had to
your
make an
title.
excuse.
You could have
Yeah.
defended your title. You were already in the Rumble. You could have gone into the Rumble. If you didn't lose, you'd still have your Overdrive title. If you did win, you could just vacate.
Can have both.
You could just vacate. But
Yeah,
he
exactly.
lost. He choked, and he can't come up with this excuse because the matter of the fact is, you just look back at what was presented to him. It's just not the
It doesn't
case.
matter the
He didn't
fact.
drop it to like go into the Rumble and win. There was no guarantee he was gonna win. That's some horse shit.
Yeah, there is no guarantee there's gonna win. I mean, I came in last, and there was like 15 dudes in the ring.
It's
Like
just
that's just
damage
not fair.
control. That was damage control what he did. Like you
Yeah,
took the
I
hardest
showed
loss
it.
of
Didn't
your
take him
career,
out,
and
bro.
you just came up with a dumb excuse. It's not even like a well-founded excuse. It's not like, hey, my USB port is broken. I can't even use my mouse. There was none of that. It's not like Wide at least tried to say like he lost connection when he got counted out. It's a dumb excuse too, but it's a better excuse than saying, yeah, I was just gonna flop that match for better opportunities. You don't get better opportunities by choking to axillarities. All right, well, I'm done with that. Below average. Jay Cage. I don't know if I have thoughts on Jay Cage.
I don't really know. He's only
wait. Why is he included? The dude's only match this year has been the Rumble match. He's
I think Hawkson included him.
Yeah, he's only fought like 3 times since actually making his in-ring return, and I think in all of these, the one he's won, and that one was against Nico. So we're going off of that below average.
Yeah, I'm gonna say below average.
What do you mean? I beat him.
Exactly.
He's had
That's what he said. Yeah,
and he lost.
You beat him, and this like his only fight. We can't say he's good.
So
I don't know. Yeah, that's just a bad
JK.
guy to throw into this mix. He's not like he hasn't been super active. We haven't seen a lot of him. He looks rusty. In the ring, I beat him every time. I would go into a pay-per-view match with him, regardless. I would if my USB port didn't break. But that's not the case. So either way, the way I look at it, below average.
Not
I
sure
agree with you.
No, just no.
He knows it too.
Just no.
Okay, let's talk about how GPHavoc is an elite tier fighter.
I think he goes in the worst.
Yeah, stop.
Bunch of idiots, and he's an idiot, and he made an excuse when he got his ass whooped.
No,
even in the situation that he would have retained his title, I don't think I would still put him in mid-tier because just
being realistically, GPHavoc it's the same case with Exxode here. You had a silver spoon in your hand, and you threw it out in favor of eating African dirt.
What?
You had a salad worth $10,000 in ingredients, and you swapped it out for one thick cabbage sprinkled with dirt. That's my analogy for what GPHavoc and Exxode have done in their last outings at the pay-per-view.
Even considering that GP would have retained the tag titles, I still would have him in below average because before LOD, who was really
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you went from 2-0ing the opponents you were supposed to
in a
fight
handicap match too.
Yeah.
To have doing 0 IQ
losing
moves,
like 2-0.
Rushing to Virtuosa and getting clipped when they're at yellow health.
And
giving the other team a heal. That is the biggest brainlet move I've ever seen in a
It was also like before his PFT career, he didn't do anything there either.
Yes, I think he's really streaky, and I think he lacks a lot of game sense that could really help him. But since he doesn't have that game sense and he choked miserably to the hires, below average tier, and I think that is the fairest assessment I can give.
That's when it's worse. I don't care.
Preds is going in the worst tier.
Yes.
I don't have anything.
100%.
Horrible.
Like, the most he's accomplished so far is getting bit in the neck.
Well, the only thing he's really done is getting a title match, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna retire if I don't win." Like, it's kind of lame, dude.
Like, you're gonna retire. You haven't been in the.
You're gonna retire. Like, you haven't done anything here. There's no need to retire. Like, why don't you do something?
He's just retiring in shame. I'm
Exactly.
putting him at the worst tier with Wide. He just I feel like this is one of those guys who just because they got lucky and they got booked when there was like a lack of good roster men. Like there wasn't a lot of good wrestlers last month, and you're seeing it through how I'm ranking people. I don't have a lot of good opinions about people right now and the way they wrestle. Preds is just one of those guys who got booked for an N1C, beat some poor sap, I don't know, may have been axillarities, got the title shot, and they weren't ready at all. Just they went up against somebody who's really excelled from SWA training. Like or hate OneThomas. OneThomas is a good, skilled competitor. That's just like the bottom line. And they were lagging at the pay-per-view. They did the gooberest shit I've ever seen, which was say, my parents need me to get off, and then they actually got off, which was the first time I've ever seen that happen. But regardless of the narrative, Preds isn't the champion right now. He has been on a horrible losing streak. So, I mean, is there anything good to say for this guy? They're just
worse.
It really isn't like enough to say for him. I mean, like hasn't proved anything. And all the matches he's gone through, he's lost the majority of them. Like, he really hasn't done anything. Really haven't. He's worst tier with wide, 100%.
BryanMaverick.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Oh, Brian.
Look at you, Negroids.
God King.
Okay, so if we're talking about as recent is, I'll put him in the great tier.
Yeah.
As recent is. If we're gonna say recent within 4 months, that's gonna be mid tier. And if we're gonna go even further than that, that's gonna be below average tier. So that's a testament to Brian's ability to progress and learn as a fighter. Within at least like the last 2 months, he has done stellar, I think, at least regarding with what he's been able to do. World champion, that'll probably be a stretch. I don't really see a trilogy with Ken. But yes, we're talking about the cream of the crop. We're talking about the guys you can depend on. BryanMaverick is someone you can depend on. You can throw him at any title and he'll perform. Except unless their name is UnstableKen, and then he's just going to choke. But that's the only exception. That's the exception.
That's pretty true.
That's the exception. That's not the rule.
Hold on.
He has done great as Euro champion. And so I'm going to give him great tier.
I agree with that.
Alright, next. HunterWolf's elite tier. I don't want to hear it.
I don't know what this is. I don't know.
HunterWolf's elite tier.
It's like that guy. Hold on. I think he's in the. Hold on.
It's basically KG Gucci with D2, except he actually wrestles.
Okay, yeah, fuck him then. I'm just gonna put him at below average tier. I don't know who this guy is. This guy shouldn't even be on the list.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Fuck all that noise.
Alright, so JakeFireReal.
Has he been active?
He returned, and he's technically undefeated since his return, and he defeated Zayn and ZST back to back. But besides that, no.
I'll just say mid tier. I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, I was just put him mid.
Yeah, JakeFireReal, like normally, typically, I trust him to be one of the dependable guys who show up. But right now, he hasn't. He's come back. I don't know what's with these guys on this list who just come back and put on this list. Like JK, who the fuck is HunterWolf, bro?
Oh, shit, man.
Let's talk about OneThomas.
Mid-tier.
Tier.
She's lucky I don't give her below average tier. Between Survivor Series and Royal Rumble, Intercontinental title is just a whole mess. And then she takes the title that she's pretty much put in the dirt, and she made it a women's championship. So no. Mid or below average.
I'll give her mid, and at least she's consistent with her wins. But like, it's another thing with Ken. But at least Ken has 8 people on this record. OneThomas has about 3, and Preds is easily one of the worst people to ever get pushed for a title. So it's hard to give them credence.
I guess she has 4 if you count when she had to win the title in that Fatal 4-Way, and then she beat Wide again. It was also in the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, but like Wide Spicy Fire Breath, when Wide Spicy Fire Breath is one of your pay-per-view opponents, that doesn't leave a good impression, big fella.
Not to mention he gets counted out.
Yeah, and like if there was any semblance of like promo to at least sell us on this, I would say that. But like most promos she's done was biting someone in the neck, and that has always been a yikes.
All right, next.
We're going on
Dream. That's just a worse tier. That's just a worse tier.
We're not gonna. I don't think there's reason to discuss this.
Please put him in worst tier. The performance that he put on every vote made me want to kill myself.
Yeah, if you're losing to a guy like Diabolical, who's definitely rusted.
No, it wasn't Diabolical. He wants the Alec, whatever.
Who?
The Alec Kanda nigga, that guy.
Oh, yes, no, that's even worse. Not only that, this guy got a random pay-per-view match that was just shoved in.
Why is Exxode on the list twice?
There was no reason for this match. Velveteen Dream was definitely not ready. Storyline, there's none of that. He had 3 days to die for it.
Yeah, his storyline was that I'm pretty sure this was in the WWE 2K20 storyline. He wanted Die to say his name.
Yeah, no, that's stupid. That's a stupid premise. And it obviously fell through, so you made a promise, maybe. You maybe made a promise. I'm saying maybe. That's already how bad this is. Yeah, I don't think this guy should even be on this list.
Next.
Zombie Super Troll the Heartbreaker.
Below average. Below average.
I'm putting him in below average. And the only reason I'm saying this is because if I'm in great tier over one choke, then you have to treat Zombie the same way. If he would have won the US, I would have him in mid tier, but since he lost, he's in below average.
Yeah, and I don't want to like nag on the guy, but you had an entire camp to train. Regardless, you could have come into my DMs, you could have come into Jordan's DMs, you probably did. And you probably did get training. You had an entire month to prepare. You had an entire month to be someone who's really just kind of a tin can right now. No, like bash on Zane here. But you walked in. You had a disappointing performance that affects everyone's outlook. Below average. All you can really do in this situation is just go back at it. I mean,
it's not helping that Zane literally made this guy meme by saying, "Can you please light him because I can't see him."
Yeah.
And still ended up beating him 4-1. Like that didn't help at all.
All right. I don't know why Exxode is here twice. I think we can.
Similarities is in worst tier. I don't care what happened at the pay-per-view. He's horrible.
I think that was the biggest fluke, and he's like. Let me tell you a story about Axelarities. Now, Jordan Stone, for whatever reason, had moderator at the SmackDown Arena. Now, Jordan Stone was also, for whatever reason, entrusted to run dark matches. For whatever reason. I'm not going to ask Koskinen about this. I don't care. Regardless of the fact, I got teleported backstage by Jordan for whatever reason. I don't know why. He has mod. And then Axelarities gets teleported backstage by Jordan. I don't know why Jordan has mod. And so we're going to run a dark match by Jordan. I don't know why Jordan has mod. So I'm going to play my music, the Knocked Loose anthem. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to hop into the ring. Axelarities is going to walk out, and he's going to walk into the ring. I'm going to look across at Axelarities, and the first thing we do, we circle out, we enter the middle of the ringer. I pop Axelarities for maybe 40, 50, 60, maybe 60 health. The first thing this guy does is he's going to run out the ring. He's going to circle out like as long as he needs to. And so I'm just looking at this guy like, do you have no game sense at all? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do what I do when somebody pitted against me is so garbage. I'm going to run into the corner, and I'm going to start role-playing myself having an asthma attack. So I'm sitting here. I'm like, sputter, gasp, wheeze. Like I'm too obese. I can't handle this guy. So whenever he runs to the ring and I run back at him, he's running away again. So this guy was scared of me for whatever reason. And so it was like this for an entire 2 falls, and I dropped this guy. I think he may have gotten a lucky fall on me. I was just not paying attention at this point. So I dropped this guy. I sweep him, and I've got to say Axelarities is people I have ever fought in a DWF ring. How that man got pushed for a title was beyond me. And the fact that Exxode lost to him is even worse. And like normally, that would help your case. But in this case, this means now you have to wait a whole month to get buried by someone. Regardless of who they are, they're going to bury this man. Unless he does something so drastic to improve, he's going to get absolutely buried.
If I remember correctly,
I have to put him at worst tier.
If I remember correctly, he won the #1 contendership on SmackDown versus Chris Dunn and True Expert, and he won 2-1-0. So he still gave up a fall to Chris Dunn, and True Expert didn't drop a fall at all because True Expert is true.
Yeah.
I heard that True Expert beat Rahim, by the way.
No, he didn't. Rahim won.
Oh, that was like the most.
All right. Well, that's the tiering list.
You got through it.
UnstableKen at the top. Beneath them, TTB, Jordan Stone, BryanMaverick at the mid-tier. We've got all the gatekeepers, Winner, Rhodes, Water Hardy, Mike MLM, Rahim, Dinero, ZJ Styles, JakeFireReal, OneThomas.
You should have put me
Below
in
them, we got CoreyKasada, Deter, Exxode, JK, GPHavoc, HunterWolf, ZST. And beneath that, the worst of the worst, White Spicy Fire Breath, Pred McIntyre, Velveteen Dream, and Axelarities. That tops off the list. I'm going to say what I said in another video. Do better. This has been pathetic.
Just better. Honestly, just get better, train, and just don't be
That's
lazy.
pathetic. And
Only four people that we rated got above mid tier, and 2 of those people don't have titles.
Yeah, that's just the state of things.
If you got one person, if you got one person, if you got that name, if you got that name.
Nah, he's inactive.
That
Fuck that guy.
or actually, no, he's below average.
That's like a worse tier for even mentioning him, bro.
I'm out.
Alright. You should all stay in the chat.
Wait, we're done?
What did you guys like
I
say
was
about
gone
me?
for half the
like,
match.
I wasn't even here.